The CSS position property defines the position of an element in the document. This property works with the left, right, top, bottom and z-index properties. Taken together, these properties determine the final position of an element on the page. There are 5 values the position property can take. They are static, relative, absolute, fixed and sticky. In this video I'm going to show you how you can use the position property along with the z-index, the left, right, bottom and top properties. So let's get started. I have my normal setup that I have had for my other videos. I have an HTML file which has a link to the styles.css which I use for styling my web page, and I have a script tag which has an src attribute. The src attribute is short for source. The source file is script.js, but we probably won't need it for this video. By default the position is set as static. This means they will follow the normal flow of the page. I'm going to create a div called boxes, and then I'm going to put 3 other divs inside it. That's box 1 is going to be the first one, then box 2, box 3, and I'm going to style it dot box 1 dot box 2 dot box 3. I'm going to give it each box a background color of red and a height of 100 pixels and a width of 100 pixels. I'm going to save those. So we've got 3 boxes now stacked on top of each other. I think what I'll also do is give it a border 1 pixel, solid, black. So now you can see them. So I'm going to do boxes 2. I'm going to make this background color green. So now the middle box is green. And if I make this position static, nothing happens because the static is the default. However, if I make this position absolute, it looks as though there's only 2 boxes now, but what it is the box 2 is on top of box 3 because it's been taken out of the normal flow of the document. So if I now do left 50 pixels, you can see it now. You can see that it's on top of the box 3. When box 2 is given position absolute, it looks at the parent, which is the div with the class of boxes, and checks to see if it has position relative set. If not, it takes the body element as the position it should be relative to. So setting it to left 50 pixels means it's 50 pixels from the left hand side. I can also set it to right 50 pixels, and it's 50 pixels from the right, or top and it's 50 pixels from the top or bottom. And then it's 50 pixels from the bottom. If I set the boxes container dot boxes to position relative, look what happens to box 2. It moves up. That's because with position relative in the boxes, the box 2 takes its position relative to the boxes rather than from the body element. What it does is it checks in the parent container for position relative. If it doesn't find one, then it will go to the next parent and check there for position relative until it actually gets to the body element, and then it will use the body element if there's no position relative. If I make the boxes class the same height as the viewport, 100 viewport height, VH, the box goes back to the same position it was when it was taking its position relative to the body element. If I set boxes 2 to 50 viewport height, VH, the box 2 moves up because now the height of the container that it's relative to is only half the viewport height. With the properties top, right, bottom and left, you can use them together. So for instance, you quite often see top and left together. So if I go top 50 pixels and left 50 pixels, like so. Top and left are usually all you need to set your element where you want it. You can also have negative values, so if I could have minus 50px, you see now it's gone off the screen because it's gone left, or in other words right, rather than left, because 50 pixels, because it's minus 50 pixels. You can also do the same with top. Put that back. Minus 50 pixels. And now it's gone off the screen at the top. Quite often you'll use negative values if you want something to slide in. You create your animation, and as the animation runs it starts off the screen and gradually moves to the position you want. The properties top, right, bottom, left only work when the position is set to anything other than static. So it will only work for relative, absolute, fixed or sticky. As I said earlier, when you set position to absolute, it takes the element out of the normal document flow and puts it on top of the other elements. If you want to alter this behavior, that is, if you don't want to have it on top, you can use the Z index to alter it. So at the moment, box 2 here is on top of the other boxes. If I set the Z index to 0, nothing changes. But if I set it to -1, now it goes behind the other boxes. Putting it to 0 puts it back again, and if I put it to higher values like 1, it stays on top. Similarly 10, it stays on top. But the higher the value, the more to the front it is, and the lower the value, or the more negative the value, the further to the back it is. So next I'm going to talk about position fixed. Position fixed is fixed to a position on the viewport. So as you scroll the screen, it does not disappear from view, as happens with the default position static. To demonstrate position fixed, I'm going to create an H1. Go to index.html. I'll comment this out. And H1. This is an H1. And in styles.css, and the body tag, HTML and body, I'm going to create margin naught and padding naught. And on the H1, set the background color to brown and the color to white, margin naught, width 100%, so as it goes across the screen, padding 1 em naught, so there's a bit of top and bottom padding. Text align center to center the text, and then position fixed. So we got that, and then also on the just the body, I'm going to make the height 300 VH, vertical height. So it's 3 times the vertical height, or in other words 3 times the screen size. And background color is light grey. So now if I scroll the screen, my H1 stays at the top. But if I make this my H1, instead of position fixed, I make it static, and now I scroll the screen, it moves. Similarly, if position is commented out, it moves. So if I get that back and make it position fixed again, it stays at the top despite scrolling the screen. So next I want to talk about position sticky. I'm going to go back to index.html. I'm going to comment out this H1 and uncomment our boxes, go back to our boxes, and then for boxes I'm going to comment out the position relative, and I'm going to make the background color pink, so we can see the boxes container now. And then on box 2, or instead of absolute, I'm going to make this sticky. So now if I scroll the screen, it comes out of its normal flow and then it sticks at the bottom of the boxes. It treats boxes as its parent, and it's as if the position is set to relative. So it's to start with, it's in its normal flow, and then as you scroll it comes out of its normal flow and then it sticks, and when you uncomment it comes unstuck and goes back into the normal flow again. To really understand sticky, you have to realize that sticky has two parts. There's the sticky item and sticky container. The sticky item is the element that I defined with the position sticky, which was box 2. Box 2 will float when the viewport position matches the position definition. The sticky container is the boxes. It's the HTML element which wraps the sticky item. This is the maximum area the sticky item can float in. That is to say, box 2 can only float in boxes container. So the important thing to remember about position sticky is when you define an element with position sticky, you automatically define the parent element as the sticky container. I think that's enough for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please subscribe for more.